All right. Let's get ready for a deep dive today. We're going way back in time.
Okay.
To like 7,000 to 1,500 BCE in India.
Wow.
To explore those fascinating early settlements that popped up along rivers.
Okay, yeah.
It's like we're going right to the source. The very beginning of Indian civilization.
Mm-hmm.
And, these rivers, the Indus and the Ganges, they're like the main characters in this story.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, rivers were like the lifeblood of so many ancient civilizations, right?
Right.
You see the same pattern all over the world, Mesopotamia, Egypt. People were drawn to rivers because they needed that reliable water, for everything.
For everything, yeah.
Drinking, of course.
Yeah.
But especially to get agriculture going.
It's like, it's not just about finding a place to live. It's about finding a place where you can actually build a whole society.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's about that potential to grow food.
Yeah.
Create a stable food supply.
Yeah.
And really lay the foundation for everything that comes after.
Well, and a perfect example of that is the Indus Valley Civilization. I mean, they really mastered the art of riverine living, didn't they?
They really did. I mean, the Indus Valley Civilization is like a textbook example of a successful riverine settlement.
Yeah.
I mean, think about their urban planning.
Oh, yeah?
It was incredibly sophisticated. Their drainage systems.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely mind-blowing for the time.
Yeah.
And their trade networks.
Yeah.
I mean, they were connected across vast distances.
It's amazing. And those standardized weights and measures that they used
Oh, yeah.
in all the different cities. I mean, that tells you something about how organized they were.
Right. It really does. It points to a level of complexity and coordination that's just remarkable.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what it was like to live in one of those Indus cities.
Right. I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it's one that archaeologists are still trying to piece together. But we do know they had these incredible urban centers.
Yeah.
Like Harappa, Mohenjo-Daro,
Yeah.
with public baths and granaries.
Right.
Which suggests a pretty high level of communal living.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And resource management.
I mean, they even had a written script
Right.
that we still haven't fully deciphered.
I know. It's like a giant puzzle just waiting to be solved.
Yeah.
Imagine the stories that are locked away in those inscriptions.
Yeah, but the story doesn't end with the Indus.
No, it doesn't.
It shifts eastward
Right.
to the Ganges,
Mm-hmm.
and a whole new chapter unfolds.
Exactly. As we move to the Ganges Basin, we're talking about a whole different landscape and a whole different set of challenges.
Right, right.
I mean, the Ganges is not like the Indus. It's heavily influenced by the monsoon cycle.
Right.
So you have these life-giving rains.
Yeah.
But you also have the potential for these devastating floods.
Yeah.
So it's a much more unpredictable environment for those early settlers. Yeah, totally different. I mean, can you imagine like trying to farm
Yeah.
in a place where the river could just like overflow its banks and flood your fields?
Right, at any minute.
Yeah, it would have taken a whole different set of skills
Right.
compared to farming along the Indus.
Yeah, I mean, how did they even adapt?
Well, they did, and that's like the amazing part.
Yeah.
It's a story of like human ingenuity, you know, resilience in the face of these challenges.
Yeah.
Those early Ganges settlers, they didn't just survive.
Right.
They thrived.
Right.
They came up with these innovative ways of like cultivating rice,
Okay.
specifically adapted for the monsoon cycle.
Okay.
Like think about, I don't know if you've heard of bunding.
bunding.
Yeah, it's where they create these raised embankments
Okay.
around their fields
Right.
to control the water levels.
Oh, okay.
Or transplanting rice seedlings.
Okay.
So they can grow in like deeper water.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
Yeah, these were like, they had to come up with solutions
Right, yeah.
to farm in that environment.
Right.
And it wasn't just about the agriculture, though.
Oops.
Around this time, we start to see iron tools
Okay.
appearing in the Ganges Basin. Remember those dense forests
Yeah.
we were talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, iron axes, iron plows.
Yeah.
These would have been like game changers
Yeah.
for clearing that land,
Yeah.
preparing it for cultivation.
I wonder if that's like, it makes you wonder if that was driven by the environment.
Maybe.
Like they had to come up with these iron tools
Yeah.
because of the challenges.
It's possible.
Yeah.
And think about like, it's not just about the tools themselves.
Right.
It's about like the social structures
Yeah.
that had to be in place
Right.
to make them,
Yeah. To create them. Yeah.
to maintain them.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to mine the iron ore.
Right.
You've got to smelt it. You've got to have people who know how to craft these tools.
Right. Right. Specialized skills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this requires organization.
Right.
It requires cooperation.
Right.
Maybe even like early forms of leadership.
Right. Maybe even like social hierarchy starts to
Yeah,
develop.
exactly.
Yeah.
And as agriculture gets more efficient,
Yeah.
thanks to these innovations, you start to see surpluses.
Right.
More food means
You know.
more people,
Yeah.
growing population, and
Yeah.
that leads to...
The need for even more specialization.
Right, because now you have people who can focus on other things.
Yeah.
Besides just like producing food.
Right.
You have people who can become artisans or priests or rulers.
So it's like that surplus is almost like unlocks.
Yeah.
Like a new level.
It's a turning point.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a turning point.
Of complexity in society.
Exactly.
And it makes sense that, like, control over those resources.
Oh, absolutely.
The land, the food,
Yeah.
the tools.
Yeah.
That's going to become a big deal.
Oh, yeah. That's power. That's where the power lies.
Right.
And as these settlements along the Ganges, you know, they grow, they prosper.
Yeah.
We start to see these powerful states emerging.
Okay.
Like Magadha, for example. These early kingdoms, they were built on the foundation of this like thriving agrarian economy.
Right.
And their rulers, they knew how important it was to control that fertile land and those trade routes.
So it wasn't just about the goods themselves. It was about the power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
So what were they trading? Like, what kind of stuff was moving along these trade routes?
Well, you've got your, you know, your basic agricultural staples, grains, rice, all that.
Food, yeah.
But there's also evidence of craft goods.
Okay.
Like pottery, textiles, even like beads and ornaments.
Okay. So it's, you know.
More than just the necessities, yeah.
It's this whole network.
Yeah.
Connecting these settlements along the Ganges.
Right.
Maybe even reaching further afield.
It's like this whole vibrant world is emerging along these rivers, and it's all built on these early innovations, these adaptations to the challenges and opportunities of living by the Indus and the Ganges.
Right. It's like they set the stage.
They did, yeah.
For everything that came after.
It's incredible.
It is. And when you think about it, like many of the major cities in India today, they're still located along those same river systems.
Right on the same rivers, yeah. It's like that geographic impact is still there.
It's undeniable.
But it's more than just like the geography, right?
Right, for sure.
It's like the culture, the social structures that grew out of these early settlements.
Absolutely.
The agricultural practices.
The hierarchies. The trade networks.
It all started there.
Yeah.
It all goes back to those rivers.
It's fascinating.
It is. And as you continue like exploring Indian history, think about this, okay?
Okay.
How did this legacy of these riverine settlements influence everything that came after?
Everything that came after,
I mean, think about the political structures, the religious practices, even artistic expression.
It's all connected.
Built intertwined.
It makes you think.
It does.
It really does. Well, that's all the time we have for our deep dive today. Thanks for listening.